All right, so are you ready to brave some serious weather?
Haha, always up for a challenge. What are we diving into today?
Well, you sent over that once human live stream about the Way of Winter update, and wow, just wow, October 17th can't come soon enough.
I know, right? It's going to be a game changer, that's for sure.
Totally. So, to make sure everyone listening is ready, we're going to break it all down in this deep dive from those freezing temperatures to those, what do they call them, chaos weavers? Giant monsters, basically.
Yeah, the Chaos Weavers are going to be interesting to see in action, that's for sure. But I think the real challenge is going to be the whole temperature mechanic.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about finding a coat and calling it good.
Right. We're talking two completely different environments with Onyx Tundra and Avena Fur on the one hand, and then Ember Strand, which is basically a volcanic hellscape on the other.
Talk about a change of scenery.
Yeah.
You go from bundled up to sweating buckets in, what, like 5 minutes?
And that's the thing. It's not like other games where you can just ignore the cold if you're tough enough. This is once human we're talking about, so of course they tie it into everything. So like when you're planning an expedition, you used to think about what? Resources, maybe an enemy encounter or two. Now, you've got time of day to worry about, weather changes, what you're even carrying.
All because that temperature is messing with your sanity, your energy, basically everything you need to survive.
Exactly. They really found a way to weave it into the existing mechanics. Even holding on to something like a Molotov for too long can make a difference.
It's like they saw us min-maxing our inventories and thought, hold my beer.
Huh, pretty much. But I think it's genius. It adds this whole new layer of, I don't know, realism, consequence to every decision. Makes you really think about every action.
And craft. Let's not forget
Oh,
crafting,
yeah.
because you're going to need some serious cold weather gear to survive.
Save time. And they've added helium-cium and thermium to the game, so get those mining drills ready.
Oh, and fur. Don't forget fur. Those thick fur pelts are going to be essential.
Right. Can't wait to see what crazy outfits people come up with.
Oh, I know. But for those times when you need a quick fix, there are always those new crops they were talking about, like spike M, polar pepper, sunny ginger.
Like grabbing a hot coffee on a cold day, just a quick boost to get you through.
Exactly. Though it does make you wonder about those early game struggles.
Absolutely. It's going to be more important than ever to establish a solid territory early on. Build those campfires, get those heat-generating facilities up and running.
And don't forget, you've got more backup this time around. 16 players to a squad now.
Oh, yeah. Teamwork is going to be key to surviving the Way of Winter. The challenges are just too much for a lone wolf.
16 brains are definitely better than one in this case, especially when you've got something as massive as that thermal tower to worry about. Remember that thing? The one that looked like it could control the weather?
The thermal tower. Oh, yeah, that thing is nuts.
Totally. It's like the holy grail of Way of Winter bases.
It's more than just a building. It's like the heart of your territory in this update.
Definitely. But don't go rushing off to build one right away. This isn't something you unlock right at the start.
Right, you'll need to progress through the mimics page first.
Yeah, for those who haven't played before, think of that as your tech tree, right? Unlocking blueprints, upgrading your settlement, all that good stuff.
Exactly.
Yep.
Once you've got the thermal tower unlocked, though, get ready to rally the troops.
Because this thing is a team effort if I've ever seen one.
Oh, 100%. From gathering the resources to actually building the thing and then constantly upgrading it, you'll need all hands on deck.
It's like the ultimate test of friendship. But the rewards, oh man, the rewards. Imagine having temperature control over your entire territory.
Seriously, we're not just talking about staying warm here. This
Yeah.
thing can transform the land around your base into an oil field.
No way. That's huge.
Right. All the fuel you'll ever need right there in your backyard.
Okay, see, now that's just smart design.
Oh, and get this. It also makes your production facilities work faster.
Wait, really? So, like, double the weapons, double the gear.
You got it. Even those crop mutations get a boost. More yields, faster growth, maybe even some new mutations we haven't even seen yet.
This tower is like the ultimate multitasker.
Pretty much. But of course, there's got to be a catch, right?
Always a catch. Don't tell me it's powered by those creepy crawlers from the mines.
Uh-huh. No, not quite. Remember Chaosium, that weird energy source they mentioned?
Oh, yeah. The one that kind of looked like purple goo.
That's the one. Well, turns out that's what powers the thermal tower. But purifying it, well, it's not exactly a clean process.
Let me guess. It attracts unwanted guests.
You could say that. Remember those Chaos Weavers we talked about earlier?
The giant monsters. How could I forget?
Yeah, those guys really don't like it when you mess with Chaosium. They see it as like a direct threat or something.
So basically, we're talking about a giant monster magnet right in the middle of your base.
Pretty much. But it's not just that they're drawn to it, they also like really want to destroy it. And these things are huge, man. We're not talking about just a little raid here.
Yeah, they showed some footage of them in the live stream. It was insane. Like, they make those giant spiders from before look like house pets.
And it's not just about their size either. These things can like manipulate the environment around them, cause temperature shifts, make it freezing cold one minute, boiling hot the next.
Okay, so now we've got giant monsters who can control the weather, trying to destroy our superpowered tower. This is starting to sound like a disaster movie.
Haha, well, that's once human for you. But it does mean that protecting that thermal tower is going to be priority number one.
Makes those 16-player squads seem a lot more necessary now, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure. It's going to take some serious coordination to take these things down.
Okay, so we've got our work cut out for us, but at least we've got some cool new toys to play with, right? What were those new deviations called?
Oh, yeah. They added some really fun ones in this update.
They showed that one, the snow sprite, right? The one that creates like a little ice shield.
Yeah, the snow sprite's going to be popular, that's for sure. A nice little defensive option, but my personal favorite has got to be the ice poot.
The ice poot. Seriously, that's what they call it.
I know, right? It sounds ridiculous, but don't let that fool you. This thing packs a punch. It's like a little freezing beam that just like blasts enemies with cold.
Okay, I see what you mean. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Right.
Or, I guess a dragon in a poot's clothing.
Haha, exactly.
I can't wait to see what kind of combos people come up with, with the new weapons and everything.
Speaking of weapons, did you see the silent anabasis?
Oh, yeah. That thing is sick, the way it creates that frost vortex. So cool.
I know, right? It's not just a damage dealer, though. Those ice crystals it leaves behind, they shatter and cause even more frost damage.
Area of effect and everything, right?
You got it. Talk about crowd control.
It's like they really thought about how everything would work together with this update. The deviations, the new enemies, the environment.
Totally. It's all about strategy, understanding how each element plays into the bigger picture.
It's like a giant, freezing, fiery game of chess. But hey, speaking of strategy, how about we break down how this whole way of winter scenario actually works?
Yeah.
Like, what are the stages? So walk me through it. What does surviving this whole way of winter thing actually look like?
Okay, so picture this. You've landed in this new world, right? It's freezing, but you're ready. You've got your warmest gear, a handful of flares, maybe a hot beverage or two.
Okay, so far so good. I like where this is going.
Right, so this first part, this is the Arctic domain phase. This is all about acclimating, getting used to the cold, figuring out how to survive. It lasts about 7 days, in-game time, of course.
7 days to get your bearings, learn the lay of the land.
Exactly. It's about exploration, experimentation, really getting a feel for the new mechanics.
Sounds deceptively calm.
And that's the point. It lulls you into this false sense of security because then, bam, phase 2 hits.
Scattered ash, right. That's when things start to heat up, literally.
Literally. The temperature swings get more extreme, resources become more scarce, and oh yeah, remember those Chaos Weavers?
The giant, havoc-wreaking monsters. How could I forget?
They make their grand entrance in phase 2. It's a real test of your survival skills.
8 days of that, if I remember correctly.
You've got a good memory, but then just when you think you've had enough, just when you're about to crack under the pressure, the game throws you a lifeline.
Phase 3. Glimmer of hope.
Oh, man. You've been studying. This is where those securement silos come into play, those procedurally generated dungeons we talked about earlier.
Right. The ones that are packed with valuable resources.
Bingo. It's a chance to regroup, restock, maybe even upgrade your gear a bit before the final showdown.
Because the end of Ice and Fire waits for no one.
Nope. And that's what we call phase 4. 10 days, non-stop action. It all leads up to this massive final event, Frost and Flame. Think you've seen the toughest Chaos Weavers the game has to offer. Think again.
So it's a gauntlet, basically. Wave after wave of enemies, culminating in this epic boss battle.
Pretty much. But if you manage to survive all that, well, then you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
The 28-day settlement phase. Time to rebuild, relax, maybe even start planning your next playthrough.
Exactly, because who plays once human, just once?
Not me. And you know what? I am more than ready to dive into Way of Winter head first when it drops on October 17th.
Me too. Though I wouldn't mind snagging some of those Twitch drop rewards first. Free stuff just for watching streams. Yes, please.
Oh, right. Those run from October 19th to November 16th, right? I've got my eye on that white pea-catting hat myself. Adorable.
Haha, nice. Don't forget to pre-register for the Team Up event, too. More free goodies. Plus, you get a head start on forming your squad.
Teamwork makes the dream work, especially in Way of Winter. Well, folks, there you have it. Everything you need to know to conquer the cold, and maybe even befriend a Chaos Weaver or two. Just kidding. Don't try that at home. Or in the game, for that matter. But seriously, as you prepare to face the elements and the hordes of enemies, remember this. The Way of Winter is more than just a challenge. It's a test of your adaptability, your ingenuity, and maybe even your sanity. So gear up, squad up, and get ready to brave the elements. Who knows? You might just surprise yourself with what you're capable of.